It's going down. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of It's Going Down, being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Number of Americans willing to take up arms against government revealed. Okay, so here, we see tensions rising here in the United States, mainly over systematic prices and food increase, systematic price spikes in gas, oil, merchandise, daily necessities that is needed to take care of you and your family. Prices are being hiked up. There's a lot of tension that's being stirred up here in America. And a matter of fact, earlier this week, a trucker uploaded a video stating how basically, basically they was out of diesel fuel, and how he's been sitting on the edge of the highway for hours because the gas stations had no diesel fuel in it. And there's several gas stations that are running low or out of diesel fuel. And the reason why diesel fuel is so important, because diesel fuel is what truckers need. Diesel fuel is what truckers need in order to, drive their trucks, to deliver food, clothes, merchandise, you name it. So here it says, most people in the United States see the government as rigged against them, and a quarter mole pushing back with violence, and a poll shows. Right, and in all honesty, the government is against you. Okay, the government's been against you since day one. Okay, the government is not for the people. The government is against the people. Why do you think the so-called elites, through the Illuminati, controlling these different governments around the world, why do you think they have these governments why do you think they have these different governments hiring agents to burn down food corporations which produce food? Why do you think they have these governments paying farmers to kill off their chickens and turkeys and their crops, destroy their crops? Why do you think why do you think they are systematically raising gas prices? Because they want to stir up chaos here, because they want chaos to be stirred up here in the United States for the sole purpose of pushing their NWO, which is an acronym for you know what, the NWO. So they're going to continue, the Illuminati, the so-called elites, by the Illuminati through the governments around the world. They're going to continue to have these governments hire agents to burn down more food factories producing and processing your foods. They're going to continue to pay these farmers to kill off their animals under the guise of there being a plague, which these animals they're killing off do not have any plagues or any viruses. They just want the animals to die off so they can have a reason to raise food prices. They're going to continue to systematically induce a famine here in the United States and around the globe, because that's what the so-called elites do. They are the biblical Edomites, just like the rest of their nation, the people. And they are also known as the devil that the Bible speaks of. Okay. And something else to take into account too is that, food prices are systematic. They are systematically skyrocketing food prices. And a matter of fact, I went to go buy a pack of beef sausages. Now, back in the year 2014, these pack of beef sausages that I used to buy, they used to be under $10. But they used to give you like, let me see. They used to give you like maybe 22 sausages. And these sausages were quite big too. I'm talking about the beef sausages. They give you like 20 of them. The DiCamillo beef sausages. They give you like 20 of them in one package for under $10. It used to be $9.99. After tax, it was a little over $10. Now tell me why I went to the grocery store, I believe it was 2 days ago. I went to the grocery store, and when I went there, I saw these same pack of beef sausages, and they were literally $18.99. We're talking about almost $20 for a pack of sausages. And a matter of fact, Lord, if it be the Lord's will, I'm going to go there today and take a picture of those prices. And then I'm going to do a video on it. So here it says, almost half of Americans feel like strangers in their own country, a new opinion poll has revealed. It also claims that the majority of the people consider their government as a corrupt institution working against them, because it is. Okay? Your government is corrupted. Okay? And that's just the truth. Your government is corrupted. Why do you think they're selling you GMO foods? Why do you think they're hiring agents to spray chemicals in the air? Why do you think they're polluting the water supply? Why is Bill Gates buying up all these farmlands? Why is he buying up these different major food corporations like Monsanto? Because they intend on rationing out the food to people when you people ain't got no more food. And the only ones they're rationing food out to is the ones who have a device inside of them the size of a grain of rice. And I don't need to tell you what that is. A device the size of a grain of rice in your right hand or in your forehead. Those are the only ones who's getting the food ration to them. Okay? Now, if you're a Hebrew Israelite, you better not take that device, because the Lord will destroy you. But anyways, it says, with more than a quarter saying it may be necessary to take up arms. But taking up arms against the government is not going to do you any good. They have all the firepower. Okay? They have all the power. And they intend on taking the guns away from you people, because they know that inevitably the patriarchs here in America, they're going to take up arms against the U.S. government. So it's going to result in the U.S. government having to use their forces, the UN forces, the NWO forces, to come up against these civilians. And that's actually prophesied in the Holy Scriptures. Civil war. The picture of the public discontent was revealed by a poll published on Tuesday by the Institute of Politics of the University of Chicago. Two pollsters, one from each majority party, surveyed 1,000 registered voters to study divisions in this country. But the Lord is the one who's causing division in this country, because this is the time for Babylon, which is this country, America, to be judged. The results showed a high level of dissatisfaction across political and ideological lines in the United States. In total, 49% said they increasingly felt like strangers in their homeland, with the mood more prevalent among Republicans, independents, and conservatives, but even Democrats feel the alienation, with 40% agreeing with the sentiment to some degree. When asked if they consider the government corrupt and rigged against everyday people like me, 56% of respondents said they did. Democrats were the only group where the share of people who disagreed with the statement was slightly larger than those who agreed, by the 2% point margin. So the Lord is causing a division here amongst Babylon. Okay? And believe it or not, but there is going to be civil war here in the United States. And because it is prophecy, it is prophesied to happen. According to prophecy in the Holy Scriptures, there's going to be civil war here in the United States. And that's according to prophecy of the Holy Scriptures. Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. And Yahweh, the true name of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, and Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Right? So this country will be considered a house. And right now, what we're seeing here is division going on. We got the citizens going up against their own government. That's a division. And anytime a country is divided against itself, it's not going to stand for much longer. So this country is getting ready to crumble. Babylon is getting ready to crumble. Okay, Matthew chapter 12, verse 26. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. Right? How then shall his kingdom stand? Okay, there you go. Now let's get the one that's prophesied in the Old Testament of the Holy Scriptures. And this book right here is coming from the Apocrypha, which is the Apocrypha is a part of the Old Testament of the 1611 King James Bible. 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. Okay? So the one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. The modern day sword is what? The gun. Okay? So the one people here, now first and foremost, 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 15 is talking about race wars. That's talking about the nation of Edom, which is the so-called white nation, so-called white people, versus the nation of Israel, the true Israelites, which are the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. Okay, so the one people that shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands, that's talking about the race wars. Now, in the modern day sword today, now back in the ancient world, swords were used for slaying people, right? In today's time, the modern day sword would be the gun. The gun is the most common modern day sword amongst many other swords on the planet. The gun is the modern day sword today. So the race wars are going to be fought with guns. Now, on the other hand, 2nd Esdras chapter 15 verse 15 is also talking about civil war. The one people is talking about civilians. The civilians of a country shall stand up and fight against another. The another people is the military personnel that operate or work on the behalf of the government. So these civil wars are going to be fought with guns. The one people, which is the civilians, shall stand up and fight against another, shall stand up and fight against these martial law troops, and swords and guns in their hands. So there's going to be civil war here in America. Inevitably. Both race wars and civil wars. Okay? Okay? Civil war is fast approaching. You know? So with that, I'm going to say shalom. It's on to the next one.